and welcome to Valorization Yoga. My name is Valerie. Today's practice is all about a restorative, soft, relaxing process that can help ease symptoms of anxiety or pent-up stress in the body. And right now, as I record this, we're getting into the school season again and getting into September, where things change, not just seasonally, but in our season of life, and just kind of starting some new types of projects or activities. So that can sometimes bring up that sense of anxiety and uncertainty. So these poses set up for you today will help you ease and relax those. You'll need 2 blankets and a bolster, and possibly an eye pillow or something to go over the face, like even just a small face towel or something like that. We'll start on our backs. Drape your legs over your bolster. Lie on your back, support the back of your head with a blanket or 2. You'll let your legs truly rest over that bolster. And then take another blanket and rest it at the belly. Relax the arms along your side, palms up or palms down. Close your eyes or take a soft gaze, or perhaps add an eye pillow over the eyes. And begin to take soft and easy breath in and out of the nose. Let the initial breaths be as choppy and sticky as they need to be. Just starting to bring awareness into how the breath is responding to rest. And noticing anything else that radiates out from that initial kind of drop in the pond. So dropping into this practice, there are those ripples out into the physical body, into the mental body, energetic, emotional. Allowing those things to move in any way they need to shift as your physical body finds that rest. And then relax around the toes and the ankles. Relax around each leg, letting the legs get heavy one and then the other. Allow for that blanket roll, that blanket on the belly to support and ground around the hips and belly. There's a bit of softness around the jaw and behind the eyes. Relaxing around the face, the finer muscles. Letting both arms be heavy and downward to the floor. Getting more curious about the breath on both the inhale and the exhale. Allow for any gurgling of the belly or any yawns to come up. These are good signs that our body and mind are becoming more receptive to this stillness and this rest. So give another breath here. And begin to wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Just a bit of gentle movement as you set the blanket from the hips over to the side. bend into the knees a bit more and gradually shift the bolster up a little higher so you can lift your hips and set your bolster on your hips on the bolster. As you do so, you might rest your hands on your hip points or the belly, or reintroduce the blanket right at the belly for grounding. Again, let your arms come out to the side here. Checking into the length of the breath. Perhaps there's an extra touch of softness to the breath, or perhaps the exhales get a bit longer. Let's take a few more breaths here. And some wiggling of hands and fingers, setting aside props, lifting the hips to slide that bolster out from underneath. And then a gentle tuck in of the knees toward the chest, drawing in, and bringing the feet down to rock over to one side, pressing up, and creating our next shape. We'll take the bolster and now lie it along the mat. You can add a blanket on top of that bolster if you wish, just to bring it up a little bit higher. And you might place the blanket at the base of the bolster to add some softness for the legs. Come on down to the left side where the hip joins the end of the bolster. The legs relax in any way you'd like to. And it'll take a little bit of a turn so that the chest is facing down toward the bolster. Walk your hands alongside it and then rest either the side of the ribs or the chest down. Choose the direction for your head. Rest down. Relax the arms down. And then come back into the breath in your body. Checking in if anything has changed while you shift positions. If there's any way you can be 10% more comfortable, what that could look like for you. Perhaps it's padding between the legs or resting the arms on a blanket or two. Truly taking care of yourself to find rest. And tuning to the waves of your own breath. Curious about the natural length of the breath. And curious about the little space at the top and bottom of the breath, just as you switch. heaviness in the body. Create more space between each thought. Start to walk the hands back. Press on out. Gently find your way to the other side, taking your time, stacking the legs, taking that bit of twist. So one hand is on either side of the bolster, resting down on the ribs or front of the belly, and position your head. Rest the head down, settling in here, and coming back into the waves of your breath. Ask yourself, can I be even 10% cozier and more relaxed? And what would that look like for me? Let the eyes soften just a little bit more. The center of the forehead release. It's feeling more open with each breath. More receptive to what's ahead. Curious versus judgmental. Deepen your breath a bit more as you're here, preparing to press up, walk the hands back, pressing down to lift. Give yourself a moment as you lift. And then cross into the legs. Gently guide the chest forward with the hands forward, breathing deeply here, just a few breaths. No need to overstretch, no need to change, just be. Very gently walk your hands back up from here, switching across of the legs, opposite shin in front. Fold forward again. Allow there to be softness in the arms, hands, neck, chin, back. And let's feel into that breath once more. Very gently begin to press on up. We'll find our next pose, which we'll need a little bit of wall space for. If you don't have wall space, you can always rest your hips on the bolster without the wall support. And then from here, setting the bolster over to the side. We'll need a wall for this next one. So if you don't have a wall, you can rest your hips on a bolster and lift the legs up instead. If you have a wall, you'll find your way over to the wall. You can always have a blanket under your hips, especially if there's a harder surface. You'll shimmy your hips up to that wall as close as you can, and then begin to lift your legs up the wall and rest the body down so the legs can be up the wall. The hips can be close to the wall or further away. You're reaching the arms out, letting the shoulders be heavy, and coming into breath. Once more, that deep breath in and a long breath out. Checking in for any tension that's being held in the belly space or around the hips. Perhaps directing breath low into the belly to release that tension. Softening on the inhales as well as exhales. This could be a time for a couple of audible exhales as you let go of anything that feels trapped in your body. Begin to wake up the body with movement. Maybe you're moving your arms up and overhead or wiggling fingers to make it more gentle. Walking your feet down the wall, hugging the knees into the chest, and then rocking on over to one side. Pressing your way back up. And then making your way back to your mat if you've left it, to set your props for Shavasana. Taking the bolster for behind the knees once more. A blanket behind the head and a blanket for the belly. You'll rest your legs back on the bolster. Rest your way back on your back. Maybe the blanket around the belly. Arms coming out to the side, making any adjustment you need now. Maybe a final stretch before you relax downward again. Softening the gaze. Softening the limbs, they're heavy downward. Shoulders are heavy. Hips are heavy. Belly is soft. Relaxing around fingers and toes. Space around the teeth and the jaw. Relax behind the eyes and at the center of the forehead and top the crown of the head. Bring awareness into your breath. Note how when you inhale, breath extends down the limbs. And when you exhale, that energy relaxes back into the body. Recognizing in this practice that we let go of the stressors just for a little bit to refuel, to fill up, to create some clarity that might help with decisions and choices in our day. Help us work through goals or remove some obstacles. Stay here for as long as you like. Enjoying the practice of release and restoring your body for your day.